To celebrate the return of the Premier League, Tifo is offering 40% off an annual subscription to The Athletic for a limited time only. Please see the link in the description for more details. On June the 27th, the National Women's Soccer League will be the first professional contact league to return to play in the United States, with 8 of the league's 9 clubs heading to Utah for the Challenge Cup. The league has shifted to a tournament-style format with group play followed by knockout rounds, with the teams playing a total of 23 matches over June and July, culminating in the championship game on July 26th at Rio Tinto Stadium in Sandy, Utah, just outside Salt Lake City. Now, the tournament is still going ahead, despite news on Monday that the league's 9th team, the Orlando Pride, were withdrawing after multiple players and staff tested positive for COVID-19. The Pride would have been led by 6-time FIFA Women's Player of the Year Marta, along with American talent in Ali Krieger, Ashlyn Harris and Sydney Leroux. The 8 clubs who are heading to Utah will play 4 games each in the preliminary round. The results from these games will determine seeding for the knockout stages, which all 8 teams will now advance to. The opening day of the Challenge Cup will include 2 intriguing matches. The 2-time NWSL champions Portland Thorns FC face off against the reigning back-to-back NWSL champion North Carolina Courage. Then, the Chicago Red Stars will try to hold off a young and hungry Washington Spirit, led by Rose Lavelle. Fans in the United States will be able to watch the opening match between the Thorns and the Courage and the final on CBS, with every game airing via the network's streaming platform CBS All Access. All of the games will also be rebroadcast on CBS Sports Network, with international fans able to watch every match for free via Twitch. Those 2 games on CBS are a huge win for the NWSL, with the tournament opener being the first women's club match to air on a major US broadcast television network. Given the global coronavirus pandemic, and with the impact already seen thanks to the Pride's withdrawal, the Challenge Cup couldn't happen without buy-in from the players. The NWSL Players Association ensured that there were protections in place for all the athletes, not just the ones heading to Utah. As part of the negotiations leading up to the tournament, the NWSLPA secured contract guarantees for all contracted NWSL players, regardless of whether they were opting in or out. These guarantees include their salary, housing and benefits, plus insurance coverage for the rest of 2020. The same guarantees also apply to US national team players who are contracted through the US Soccer Federation. Now, of course, no fans will be allowed to attend the matches at the 2 facilities hosting the tournament, and the players and staff will be kept in the NWSL Village, a bubble environment for the duration, with rigorous testing protocols in place. The NWSL should have kicked off its regular season back in April, fresh off a major year of women's soccer thanks to the 2019 World Cup and the US national team's victory in France. The league enjoyed an attendance boost and increased eyeballs on the domestic game, and expected even more growth in 2020. Thanks to the Challenge Cup, those plans aren't entirely derailed, as the league is hoping that it can attract new fans by leading the return to play in the US. And as for the tournament itself, the format favours teams with established chemistry and depth, but thanks to the revised schedule and format, seeding will be decisive in who heads to the Rio Tinto Stadium. OL Reign isn't a new team, but it does have new owners in Olympique Lyonnais, who purchased what was formerly known as Reign FC during the off-season. They brought a new name, branding and a new coach to the team in Farid Benstiti. Wales international Jess Fishlock is going to be a key in the team's cohesion, with a ton of new additions in the mix, especially with US star Megan Rapinoe choosing to opt out. Portland Thorns FC missed out on the 2019 NWSL Championship and spent the off-season making some major roster moves to ensure they don't again fail to match high expectations. Portland added defender Becky Sauerbrunn and midfielder Raquel Rodriguez via trades, and they can always rely on the talents of all-time leading international scorer, in men's or women's games, in Christine Sinclair. Sky Blue FC had one of the biggest off-seasons across the league, picking up forward Mal Pugh on a draft day trade, plus adding defender Midge Purse and defensive midfielder Bacol Zaboni. Pugh, as well as Carly Lloyd, is out due to injury, however, and defensive depth does remain an issue. The North Carolina Courage are odds-on favourites to win it all in Utah, and for good reason. The league's best team is stacked with talent, but keep an eye out in particular for Ireland's Denise O'Sullivan and Brazil's Dabina. Utah Royals FC have a new captain in forward Amy Rodriguez, who will also need to compensate for the goals lost to forward Kristen Press's decision to opt out. Utah are another team with a new head coach in Craig Harrington, but the pandemic put a halt to some planned major international signings, and even with a home field advantage of a sort, the Royals will do well to make it deep into the knockout stage. Since joining the NWSL as an expansion team in 2014, the Houston Dash have never made the playoffs. But anything can happen in the tournament format. Led by England forward Rachel Daly and goalkeeper Jane Campbell, the Dash have benefited from the new preliminary round matchups and could definitely surprise some teams. The Washington Spirit are filled with potential, even as they might not earn a lot of the league's headlines. Built around midfielders Rose Lavelle and Andy Sullivan, plus goalkeeper Aubrey Bledsoe, they're ready to upset some of the more established NWSL squads. And the Chicago Red Stars advanced to the NWSL Championship for the first time in 2019, where they fell to the Courage. They lost striker Sam Kerr, the NWSL's all-time leading goalscorer, to Chelsea this off-season, but the good news is that midfielder Yuki Nagasato stuck around, along with plenty of US talent like goalkeeper Alyssa Nair, defenders Casey Short and Tierna Davidson, and midfielder Julie Ertz. Though the circumstances behind its creation were less than ideal, the Challenge Cup should provide a unique first taste of NWSL play for new fans, an entertaining change of pace for long-time supporters, and an intriguing test for players and coaches. That's right, the football is back, and we're celebrating by offering 40% off annual subscriptions to The Athletic. And it's not just the Premier League. Alongside in-depth coverage of every Premier League team, not just the big ones, The Athletic also covers soccer in the States. Meg Linehan, the writer of today's video, covers the NWSL and the US national women's team, alongside her colleagues covering MLS, and of course 10 other sports too. And you can get access to all of this for just £3 a month with 40% off an annual subscription by visiting theathletic.com/Tifo Football. This offer is live for a limited time, so make sure you check it out before the end of the weekend. And hey, thanks for watching.